As morning broke on Monday, December 19th, a major winter storm was moving into western Kansas. By late afternoon, drifts were piling up, roads were becoming impassable, and kids were hoping for an early start to their Christmas break. After driving home from holiday shopping in Garden City, the occasional chest pain Chad Griffith had been feeling for weeks refused to go away.
The chest pain continued to escalate enough that we decided we better turn around and go back to Scott City to the emergency room. We must have got to the emergency room around 9, and of course the blizzard just continued to escalate, and by 9:30 I'd had the first heart attack.
You really knew that this was a serious situation. Unfortunately, this night already the weather had gotten bad, and by the time I arrived and assessed him, I knew that he was having a major heart attack. This is very serious in anyone, but especially a 44-year-old man, and it was essential that we get him stabilized and out of here. Immediately, I made that decision that he needed transferred, and already the roads were closed.
Dr. Heineman talked to me a little bit about road conditions and that we were probably going to need to transfer. We knew we weren't going to get any kind of air, either fixed wing or helicopter in. I knew the supervisor at Oakley called him, and we started talking about road conditions, which led to whether we could do an escort from Scott to Hays.
I received a phone call from Scott County EMS telling me that they had to get a patient to Hays Medical Center, and I informed them that I-70 was closed and they would not be able to go that way. And I said, but we'd be glad to take you down K96 all the way to 183 Highway and then north into Hays.
Once we got KDOT on board and knew that they were going to be there with us, I wasn't as doubtful as I was to start with.
Dozens of phone calls later, KDOT Area Superintendent Jerry Glassman arranged for 4 plows to escort the convoy 120 miles to Hays. The life and death relay began at midnight.
His sisters and our 2 girls were in the first Suburban, and I was with Chad's mom and dad and Cooper, our oldest son. And so we had gone to fill up with fuel, and we were waiting there, and a KDOT truck went by, and then the ambulance, and then the girls' Suburban, and then us.
We had a lot of ice on the road. Not only was the visibility bad, but it was covered with ice. And at times we was running 25 to 35 mile an hour most of the time. And there were times we honestly couldn't see the back of the KDOT truck.
I would say this particular storm, it was a whole new experience. In the 11 years that I've been working now for KDOT, this, I could say, was my worst storm that I've been through, I think.
I think it was well over an hour, maybe 2 hours it took us just to go that 30-some miles, because it was blowing so hard you just couldn't see nothing.
Conditions were poor.
A lot of times you could tell where the fence rows at or the telephone poles, you know. Sometimes there was bare mat you could see, but a lot of times it wasn't.
We're short-handed. I had to run a truck that night and the wee hours of the morning, and there was times in some of them open fields I was lucky to even see the lights on the hood of the snowplow.
We were all staying pretty close together because we had to have those lights in front of us.
I could feel the highway enough that I could stay on the road to where I wasn't running off, I guess, on the shoulders.
I don't know that it was the worst one I've ever been in, but it was probably one of the top 5.
When the patient arrived to Hays Medical Center, he was taken immediately to the cath lab, had a cardiac catheterization by Dr. Markowitz, and was found to have a 99% blockage in what is commonly termed the widowmaker, because when it's blocked, you're done.
I'm glad I could help. I'm glad I was able to be there to provide that service, to make it down the highway, make it to the next destination for another truck to take over. I'm glad I could have a part in it all, and I'm very glad everything turned out very well.
I'm glad the patient's doing great, you know. That's what I enjoy hearing, and I'm glad we could be of service.
At this point, he is healthy and actually feels better than from what I hear, than what he's felt in a long time.
That night, I just see it. There's not one person except for God that made it all happen exactly right at the right time. But it took a team for him to be sitting here.